Hi, I'm Cher Johnston, and welcome to my happy place. Um, I'm going to start this hashtag Stitchbook. If you share on social media, on Instagram, or wherever, Facebook, wherever you share photos, let's use this hashtag. And also, if you would please kindly hit the like button and the hype button, that helps new YouTubers like me to get our videos out. Today we're going to talk about fabric and other things too. We're going to talk about a couple stitches. So these are fabrics that I have that I use for doodle cloths. We're going to talk about doodle cloths. This is one of my flour sack kitchen towels that I didn't stitch with this. I used it for testing paint. This is mamagami paper. You know that paper that you use? I used watercolor paper, and you crunch it up and uncrunch it. And then I stitched through it. Jury's out. You can't stitch through it very easily. This is some linen, which I like, but it's a little bit kind of flimsy, flippy, floppy, which is fine as long as you back it with something like this. This is what I'm going to use today. This is my kitchen towel stuff, and I'm going to put that behind whatever I'm going to use, and we'll do that. This is just a painting. This is a doodle cloth. This one I didn't back. And I think that's why I quit using it. Also, I had it in a hoop, and I was just testing out. This is, that's rows and rows and rows of stem stitch. No, it's not. This, this is a raised stem stitch. This is, sometimes I have to check the back and see. That's a chain stitch. This is a feather stitch with French knots. And that, I think that's a palestrina knot with beads. Anyways, so these are just things that I was trying. This, I brought this out here because I tried to use some quilt batting as the backing. This is linen, and I was using quilt batting as a stabilizer. I wouldn't recommend it. This is some linen that I used with no backing, which I liked. I think it's the type of linen, and I wish I could tell you what type of linen this is. I just don't remember. I don't know where I got it, where it's from. This is something that this is avocado dyed, and then I didn't iron it. I haven't ironed it yet. That's a little thicker. I showed you this already. This is just something that got left in there. This is linen that I like. I think this is something that I recently bought at Hobby Lobby, and then I painted it blue. And I don't know if you can really see it, but it's blotchy. I don't like it. I'll probably still stitch on it. This is, I don't remember where I got this, but it's also linen. And here is more of my kitchen towel. This is just more linen. This is linen that's really floppy. I like it, but you really have to back it. This is my current Doodle cloth. I have this pattern that I'm trying, and I didn't back it because I wanted to try to see if I could get the stitches all in one spot. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, this is a stem stitch, and this is a stem stitch. I did one really close together and one a little further apart to see if they could be, just to give them a different look. And I used some paint with fabric medium, and I don't like it. If I was going to stitch on this, it just wouldn't work out. So I think next I'm going to wash it again. I used Inktense pencils here, but I drew this pattern on here, and then I did the Inktense, and I used several different things to draw the pattern on. And I think one of them I used this yellow chalk pencil thing, and I think it combined with the Inktense and left this ugly brown thing. Anyway, okay, today I want to talk about doodle cloths. I want to show you a couple of stitches. I'm starting my series. I want to give another, maybe a couple more days for you guys to, get your books and all your supplies, but I don't want to wait too long because I'm anxious to get started. This is something that I'm going to use. This was a pair of pants that I bought on clearance at Target. I wore them once or twice, and then I thought, that's just silly to think that I could wear a pair of white pants. They'll just get destroyed, right? So, and I actually had in mind when I bought them, I thought, that is nice fabric. I could totally use that fabric. It does fray a lot though when I rip it. It is 100% cotton. I don't know. I don't think it's linen. I don't know. It's very, very thin weave. And I just wanted to say too that I like a thin weave fabric like this because it's easy to stitch through. If you add more layers, like I could add a piece of this and layer that on top, and it would still be fine. Also, it's easier to see. I'm going to do one of these doodles. Let's do something easy here. I'm going to do these buttons, and I want to show you a couple stitches. I am going to recommend that you get a doodle cloth. Now I used to sew all my embroidery stitches. I just did them on a doodle cloth, and then I ended up with a few things that I liked on the cloth, and then I cut it up and used pieces of it, and I think some of them I just threw away. I'm going to use, this is, I I have this one right. This is Aurifil thread. This is, I bought this big, huge because I love this thread so much. It's number 12. It's like a pearl cotton, number 12. The number of the thread, like if you bought a number 3 pearl cotton that's really thick, I bought accidentally a number 50 Aurifil, and I use it in my sewing machine. It was kind of a mistake because this is what I wanted. This is 1100, that's the color, and it's 100% cotton, and it's Aurifil. I love it. And I have this pink, and I have this dark turquoise that I really love. This is what I'm going to use today. Now, you're going to want lots of different threads. By the way, you can get this on my Ko-fi site. I'll leave a link in the description. And I'm going to recommend that you just get started and just do some doodle cloths or a doodle cloth. So a stem stitch goes forward maybe 1/4 of an inch and then back about 1/8 of an inch, keeping the thread up, forward and back. And like on my other doodle cloth that I showed you, you can do if you do forward a long way and then back just a tiny bit, you're going to get a thinner line. Won't be as curvy. If you go forward, go back to that other line. This one's going to be a little bit thicker and sort of the stem stitch is good for curvy lines. So I'm going to recommend that you get yourself some whatever thread you have. If you have DMC thread, you could use 2 or 3 strands of DMC thread. It would be about the same as this here. And you could make a couple little, things. A couple little doodles on your doodle cloth. This pattern is in my Ko-fi site. And I'm going to start with this today. And I'm going to do a stem stitch here. If you're right-handed, you're going to go left to right, but you insert the needle right to left. So I'm going to go in this way, back, pull this direction, and then this way and back. Again, the thread is below the line, and then I'm turning. And I'm putting these stitches really close together so that I can get around that curve. Then, because I don't want my video to be too long today, and because I've sort of discovered that I shouldn't sit and stitch for too long, I'm going to do this. I'm going to finish this S off camera, and I'll come back and we'll do a back stitch so that you have at least two options for your cover. Again, you don't have to do your cover right now. I'm going to suggest that you get a stitch cloth, a doodle cloth, and just do some stitches just to practice, just to get, to get your hands into that, get your hands used to doing that kind of thing. Then I'm going to do this with a different stitch. So don't do this, just do this word. Okay, I'll be back. So as I was stitching this, I realized that I poked my needle all the way to the back because I want to have, I'm going to have the back of my work showing. So I wanted it to look pretty. You don't have to worry about that. So also I'm going to stitch through the stitches on the back and then create a knot. Maybe I'll go one more time through the back and then cut that off. Because remember, in mine, I want the back to show so I can see later on, like how I did the stitches. I think I'm going to remove this part. I have to remember that this is part of the design. These are just invisible stitches that are not invisible. I think I might take those out. Okay, now I want to do a different stitch. I'm going to show you how to do a back stitch. These two stitches are good for lettering or for your little doodles. I'm going to call these doodles because you can do those on a doodle cloth and you can add them to your piece if you like or not. You don't have to. But they're something that you can make that just to practice. Okay. So with a back stitch, you're going to start here. I'm going to go forward one stitch and then out there. Then I'm going to go back one stitch right where it started and then forward one stitch. My stitches are about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so. Doesn't matter how long your stitches are. Play around with different stitch length if you like. And just play around with it. I forgot to talk about my needle. This is an embroidery needle. This is probably maybe a 5. I don't really know exactly. Needles are also like the bigger the number, the smaller the needle. I don't know who decided those things, but it it makes me a little angry. Like, really, did you really have to do that? Now, I'm going to go, and you can just travel. You don't have to stitch through your stitches on the back. I like to do this so that my back is neater, and so that I don't have long, like these kind of things flapping around. And then I'm just going to go up here and do like a little stitch there. Now also, if you're in a hoop, you're going to stab stitch. You're going to go down and then back up, and then you're going to go up here and back down. Or I suppose you could do scoop stitching. That's where you go in and out in one scoop. All right, I'm going to end this off. And I think that's my video for today, because I want to do more other stitches with you. And yeah, that's all for now. Bye.